Here we are with all the little bells and whistles and the rubber chicken squeaks off in the background.
Yay!
Yay!
Here we are in
I
the
can't believe it. Back on the show. Wow. Look at me. Look how excited I am to be back on this show. Which how long ago was it when I was on this show, by the way? Because you were in the infancy.
definitely my infancy. That was 2023.
We had to have the fanboy cantina here, kind of guiding you through. Remember that?
Absolutely. And this speaks to Dave, Terror Dave, as a guest who is now in the role of Invisible's professional Svengoolie stalker.
Right. The Invisible Man, and isn't that the ultimate tribute to Svengoolie? Come on now.
Yes.
It absolutely is. And then through Dave, did I get to be introduced to Nanette? Dave and Nanette, welcome around. Here we are again.
Hi, Dave.
Right.
Your hair looks great. Fantastic.
Thank you. I literally brushed it and covered all the bald spots just for you. And
you look fabulous.
I tell you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And it is great to be here, though. All seriousness, I am so happy to be back on. It's fun. And
Yay!
Waka waka waka.
Right.
I didn't realize that we had never been in this exact configuration before, so I thought this would be another fun way. So, if people are watching over here more regularly, then you might have seen Nanette and I had just as a two-party co-host situation reviewed C2E2 2026 with emphasis on the Svengoolie elements of the convention. And then as I was texting with Dave mentioned that it would be possible for Dave to come around again after he completed his blog entries on Terror Dave's blog. So, without further ado, whether it's two faces in one blacked out section or if it were three faces, we were going to convert to this configuration. And then let me switch over so I can steer. We are now looking at the blog of Dave, but not looking at actual Dave, which is kind of fitting in all kinds of ways. So Dave, just from the jump here, we were saying Svengoolie, social media, this is a job for, and I assume it's a Superman Clark Kent pull.
Yes,
of the
very good.
You have there.
Yes, and just so you know, anybody watching this, I'm not shy. I just cannot get this camera to work. So, so I apologize, or maybe you'll be grateful for it. I don't know, but this is Brianna. She is one of the MeTV social media specialists. She actually deals exclusively, I think, with Svengoolie. But there are other social media. There's a whole team of social media people that assist, of course, the channel. But she, I believe, is more centered on Svengoolie. And when I was at the studio the last time, I remember we were in the middle of taping, or they were in the middle of taping, and she actually popped out, came in, and was like, we're going to do this little quick thing for Instagram. And then they kind of, Bill Leff and Svengoolie, Bill Leff being, of course, in his nostalgia to regalia, did like an impromptu promotional thing for Instagram. And it was just right off the cuff. But that's the kind of stuff she does. So if you guys watch anything follow Sven on Instagram or any of his social media, she's the one that's probably behind the phone or the camera. She's a really nice person.
She does a great job.
Yes.
A really great job with a high work rate. And by that, I mean a lot of publishing. Now, is this inclusive of the YouTube shorts, do you think, Dave? Or we're not exactly sure if it's a separate person that would be doing the YouTube shorts?
I don't know. I should ask her that.
All right. And I noticed I should have pulled the photo on that. I saw earlier today they made a master playlist of all the Sven and Sven Squad social media related. I think it was like 345 entries of YouTube shorts, and it looked great.
I'll bet you she is probably the one behind it, but I'll ask her, and then the next time you do a show, I'll comment and let you know what she says.
That would be super cool. And then later I'll flip the screen around again so people can see the cover piece of the playlist. Nice. Okay, so let me again jump around for scrolling purposes and scroll on down through the rest of Dave's fine blog work here. Again, that's the man in the street view of the corral area of entering the main floor of the convention floor. As you're noting there, booth 41 is the place to go. And so it was, now that it's not just Richco, it's not just Svengoolie, but now that it's the entire Svengoolie squad. We had just mentioned Bill Leffis, Nostalgia for Ratu, also Sarah Palmer as Gwen Gooley, also Scott, how do we say Scott's last name? Greider? As the imp. So now the entire off-camera, behind-the-scenes squad is also grown in its size and its volume.
Yes. Now, what you're seeing here, though, and this is day one, Friday, the Sven squad was not there that day. They only showed up on Sunday. Now, Sarah and the imp showed up as civilians that day because they were really anxious to see C2E2. So I believe I was with you, Nanette, when they walked by. So they had actually checked out the event, and I think you could see that even in her video, that was what they did that day. They kind of went around. Now, Bill Leff was actually filming a scene for Tune In with me, so he wasn't able to join them. But those two did that first day. But that being said, this was the largest crew that they ever brought. I mean, it was so many of us tripping over each other because it was just, I mean, like I said, they even brought a sound guy, and that was a first. So, yeah, it was a big group. I had a lot of people I hadn't met from previous years, but
it was a fun group. They were very nice.
They really were. Yeah, they were a fun group. Everybody was really nice. The squad was awesome. Like I said, there's a little bit of nervousness when you get in because you don't know. Well, every C2E2 is different when it comes to assisting Svengoolie because his schedule is always different, and you never know what he's looking for in terms of interviews because a lot of them, he's not just looking there, he's meeting the fans, of course, but he's also got a secondary goal of trying to get material for the show. And, all those on the road segments we love, and so the minute they get there, you've got his director, Chris Faulkner, and then he'll grab the cameraman, whoever's been brought in at the time, and they take off to get footage outside on the convention floor. And then you've got also kind of going around and trying to ask any of the guests if they would have an interview with him. And then if they agree, then you got to try to do something even harder, which is to coordinate your schedules where that can happen. So there's been a lot of, I think it was last year, we had Pat and Oswald. They just couldn't get them together. They couldn't get the schedules to work. And I think before that, I don't know if it was the year or two before that, Kevin Smith was there. And he really wanted to do an interview with Sven, but they just could not work their schedules, with regards to signing and photo ops and panels and all that kind of stuff. So it's really, you never know how it's going to go. You have kind of a basic outline of how you want things to go and what you're looking for. And it would be great if we could talk to this person. That's also how it is with Flashback Weekend. But Flashback Weekend is just a lot easier because they're right there. He kind of he just gets them to agree, or I'll talk to them ahead of time and get them to agree. And then the crew just kind of walks through and gets as many as they can, kind of 1, 2, 3. So Flashback's a lot easier to get materials for than C2E2 is. So anytime you see an interview on C2 of Svengoolie talking to somebody at C2E2, just know there was a lot of prep work that went into making that happen. And it was prep work that happened right there on the floor, not, prior to coming in.
And a great variety of people he's had over the years. Your voice actors, your Pinky and the Brain, your wrestling representation, Jerry the King Lawler, and the artwork that's just above Nanette's head and just above my head, Chris Jones. So it's so many different things get covered from those on the road segments.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like I said, sometimes it's just there's no planning at all. Like I remember the first year when he interviewed, I can't think of the actor's name because I'm drawing a blank, but the guy who played SpongeBob, does the voice of SpongeBob.
Tom Kenny?
Yes. We were walking in the back. I don't even remember the year it was. I'd have to look at my blog, but we were walking behind the scenes, and all of a sudden Tom Kenny was in the back of a golf cart gliding by, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Svengoolie!" And, and then that's when we realized he was a huge fan. It turns out that he's from the Chicago area and grew up with Sven, and he's also a huge fan of classic monsters. So he's, every time he comes to Illinois to visit family, he always makes sure to watch Sven, and I think he's able to see him where he's at now. That Svengoolie is national, but that was kind of an interview that just happened. Like it just was, I'd love to talk to Svengoolie, and then they just immediately it happened. So again, there's some. So I shouldn't say that there's always a lot of prep work that goes into it. Sometimes you're just plain lucky, and it happens. Lightning strikes. But this year, the focus, because of the squad, the focus really was not on doing a lot of interviews, because this was one where it's like, okay, well, first of all, he agreed to a tougher schedule. I don't remember any years where he signed 2 years in a row, 2 times a day, both days. And so that was kind of a big thing for him to agree to. And he has to agree to it. They basically say, this is what we'd like you to do. And then it's up to him to sign off on that. And he agreed to it. But when you have all those things planned, then it doesn't leave you as much time then to kind of roam around and interview people. Now, the one guy there's only one interview that I saw, unless he interviewed somebody after we left, which I doubt, was that one guy, Gilchrist, the Muppets guy. You can see on the blog. That was the only interview that he did this past weekend. And that was set up by Jim Roach the night before. He actually had reached out to him, and they made plans to talk. So that was how that came about.
Nice. I think I saw them filming that.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really nice. He was a really nice person. Very friendly. Loved Sven. Gave him that drawing, and
that was a cool drawing.
It was cool. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I am super looking forward to that on the road segment. And as was just the case, they had recently the cereal monsters, and I'm talking your Count Chocula, your Boo Berry, your Frankenberry, were just recently imagined as or depicted as in Muppet form on the cereal boxes for October 2025.
What? I didn't know that. 2025? That was Muppets?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Okay. The internet search will take you there, my friend.
Yeah, I will definitely make that trip. Yeah.
I mean, it's like you'd imagine them to look like as Muppets, and that's how they looked.
Yeah.
So again, the idea of Sven in a Jim Henson tradition Muppet form, there was the drawing of it, but boy, that would be super cool to see an actual Sven Muppet. The wish list continues to grow.
Yeah.
That would be
cool.
It
was the logical next step. He's been in the Dick Tracy cartoon. He's become a member of the DC universe, so it's natural that he would become a Muppet.
That would be cool.
What's left? Yeah.
I'd buy that.
I would too. Yeah, that's fun. Especially if they had like an actual puppet you could buy of the Svengoolie Muppet. No, that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be cool. And then you could use it for, talking.
Right. You could hang out with Svengoolie.
There we go.
Sure, yeah.
Get on it, marketing.
Right. So yeah, but it was a great experience overall as far as everything went smoothly, because I was very nervous about it, because I've helped him with photographing in the line when it's just him, and that can be challenging, but let alone like the entire squad. So yeah, it was different. You learn. It was kind of like, okay, we're just going to do this and we're going to learn from our mistakes, and then if it happens again, we'll know better. Like, I don't think if I do this again with them and the squad shows up, that I'll follow people down the line. I think I'll just stay by Svengoolie and let them do their own selfies with the squad. I just think that would have been easier, because you lose track of the line, and then Svengoolie's standing there, and he needs the line to move, because you've got to accommodate everybody in a time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So
I liked it better just taking photos when I went down the line. I didn't do a selfie type thing, but I was like, I didn't want my photo taken. I just wanted theirs.
Yeah, I hear you. We had done it, like I said, where usually what happens is when you come in line, I'll be, well, you know this because you've been in many a line yourselves, but I'll basically be like, do you want me to take your picture? Or are you okay doing your own selfie? Or do you have somebody here to take your picture? How do you want it to go? And in this case, it was like, well, would you like me to follow you down the line and take pictures of you meeting all the squad? And of course, most people are like, sure. But the problem is that it's very hard to get through that line before the next person comes up. So you end up having these little gaps, or some people that aren't getting assisted and others are. And it's just, I don't know. We ended up meeting Brianna, as mentioned earlier. She actually had to end up helping out, taking pictures, and instead of doing her thing, which is social media. So I don't know. You live, you learn. We'll see how it goes next year.
And it was a time-honored, well-established system that you had. And as I had, so back to before we ever spoke on the screen, going back to the Volo Sven appearance, and maybe 2023, maybe 2022. I have to double check, but I was there with John, also known as J Spy, and J Spy was doing, Sven's a pro. He's got the muscle memory to hold the rubber chicken up. He's ready to go. Right? But it's all the nuance to executing, keeping the line moving, and having a good minute of banter with the fans, with the people in the line. So right, and then now we got to redesign the system. Not meaning the general we. I don't mean I'm having anything to do with it. But yeah, the system needs to be redesigned now when you have more seats, more bodies at the table. So hey,
yeah,
it's
absolutely. I will give props to Jim Roach on one thing that he can do with uncanny ability, and that is that man can look down a huge line and know exactly where to cut it to make sure that everybody gets a signing on time and that it ends at the right time. And I don't know how he does it, but he can do it. He's really good. Now, in this case, I didn't think it was too bad, the lines. In fact, a lot of people were able to come back second or third time, so including you, Nanette.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And
I don't know,
I felt bad. Jim was looking at me. I'm going again. Is that okay? He's like, I don't. It's okay.
No, that's
I want to get yelled at.
No, I did those things back in my day too. It's just, that's if you're going to stand in line for however long and you have the opportunity to then do it again, why not? When's your next time to go see Sven? So take advantage of it. Right. But I think that one thing I noticed too is like the late afternoon signings were usually a lot less people than the earlier time. So, which makes sense. So that was nice. Yeah.
I would have liked to
go again,
nice. But the train
I think
schedule.
Mike, Mike, who was the head of the line.
Oh, yes.
he did multiple times. Yeah. There's
yeah. Yep,
yeah.
That's Mike.
He did multiple trips at all 4 signings. He did multiples. So, that's dedication. You go, Mike. Yeah.
I haven't met Mike, but clearly, and speaking of wish list, and here's the newer item coming around. The cards were not previously available. The cards are definitely a big ticket or a hot ticket item right now.
Yeah.
It looks like he went all in on committing. So please go ahead, tell us about.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not really, and I think I mentioned it in there, I'm kind of aloof to the whole merchandise thing. I mean, I have the mug, I've got the hat, I've got the shirt, but I don't have a whole lot of others. I mean, I have the Terror Toonie or the Toonie Terrors. I got that thing, and the action figure from what was it, Super 7? Is that the name of the company that put those up? Yeah, so I have those, but I don't go on there and really buy a lot of stuff. And I knew the cards existed, but I didn't know that they were that he's up to 200 and some cards. I mean, so I'm looking at Mike's collection, and all I'm thinking is, I remember when I had the blue Star Wars cards and the orange Star Wars cards and the wacky packages. And I was just, when I looked at that, I'm not gonna lie, my eyes were rolling over white like a shark, and the collector in me is like, should I be collecting?
Should I be doing this?
Collecting these Svengoolie cards? Should Mike and I both be at the same support meeting for our addiction to these cards? Yeah, it didn't. So yeah, I was really happy that he brought them to show me, because I was like, wow, these are really cool. And he knows he's got a whole bunch in his collection that I guess are error cards and where little mistakes have been made, and he's picked up on every single one of them. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. But I feel bad because I don't think there's too many other people that are quite at his level, and he's desperately trying to trade to get these new cards, get the missing cards for his collection. I really hope he finds them. But
me too. And he's very
Yeah, that was
generous.
neat.
He had all those extra ones, and he was having people sign them. And then he's like, "Oh, here, pick one. Oh, here, pick this one. Okay, take this one." I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
Yeah, he's a good guy, and the last couple of years, he's brought me a whole bunch of like Svengoolie clippings from like newspapers and local stuff, and that's really nice of him to do that.
He's very
So
nice.
yeah, he was a good person. There was that one point where he was running back to his car to get a cart to get
Yes.
something. And we're like, is he going to make it back in time? So he did. Yeah, it was a very
Yes, he
harrowing
did.
time. Yeah. But I didn't. I was sad not to see you there, Mr. C. I know that you're with your family and stuff, but just so you know, I was looking for you. Just so you know. I was like literally walking up and down, like I wasn't selling
Where
anything.
is
I was
he?
just doing pictures. I'm like, where is he? Yeah, I said that to Nanette. I'm like, I think Mr. C dove in and drowned. I don't see him. But and I was mad I didn't get a picture of you when I did see you, but we were kind of standing there like in the front row of the the panel. But we'll get it right next year.
There's next year, and I'm assuming you're going to be. I mean, we're not at the future forecast part of the show here, but let's speak on. Yeah, let's speak of the future of the flashback.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I have been asked to assist in flashback, so that's happening.
Yay!
So far, all systems are go. So
good.
Yeah.
And now again, sometimes Dave is going to come to know things that either aren't for the general public to know, or at least there has to be a certain timing of announcements. But I'll say I am curious and hopeful that the entire Sven squad will be present at Flashback as they were for this just concluded C2.
Full disclosure, that hasn't come up to my attention. So if that's going to happen, it hasn't been set up yet. I'll have to have they did invite me back to the station. I'll ask him next time I see him and see if he will. If they are coming. I hope they are, because they're really fun people. Mm-hmm. So fun. And I really, I just met them for the first, other than Bill, I have met Bill Leff before. But Sarah and Scott were so nice. And I had never met them before till this C2E2. And what I liked about them is, before we went on, they were really nervous, but they weren't nervous like, oh, I hope I don't make a fool out of myself. They literally were like, I hope we don't disappoint any of the fans. That was like their big concern. It was like, I hope we don't disappoint anybody. And I'm like, you definitely are not going to. They definitely didn't. And they were very engaging with the fans. They were very much like, where are you from? How long have you been watching Svengoolie? And, talking about this and that. Very engaging. So
Sarah and I talked about dresses, because I said, I like this dress that you're wearing. She's like, oh, thank you. First time I'm wearing it here. And I was like, I really like it. So
yeah, I'll be honest with you. I liked her C2E2 look. I think even above what the TV show one. I thought she looked really cool. Almost kind of like almost like a Morticia. A really nice Morticia look. I liked it.
As Rich has changed his outfit across the years, maybe she'll have an alt outfit, or that the possibility of that exists.
Yeah,
I did when I was talking about dresses. Scott Imp next door to her was going, oh yeah, she gets dresses. I just have this one outfit, and I joked.
Yeah, that's right. I did hear.
I said, girls need more dresses. I should have said, but that look looks good for you. Just wear that.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good look too. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And now, of course, this is banter. This is not an indictment upon the Imp nor Scott, but I have seen a purple dress shirt. I've seen a red dress shirt. So unless he has dyed the one singular thing, then he does have more than just.
He does have multiple, I guess.
So. Yeah.
All right. So top image here, is it like a Where the Wild Things with a Sven inserted?
So you see, here's the thing. Like, I'll be standing right there, and I can see a lot of what's going on, but I can't always hear much of what's going on. Yeah, I guess I didn't hear what they had said to each other, so hopefully that might make it to the TV show. Even like we were talking about the Muppet guy, Guy Gilchrist, I didn't hear anything they said. So every time I watch these on the road segments, it's like I wasn't there because I couldn't hear anything. So it's as new to me as it is to everybody else. Yeah, I think that was some type of Where the Wild Things Are tribute. And that was what you're seeing here, this little
Crocheted Sven.
We had 2 crocheted Svengoolies this year.
Aw, so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could
That's the
crochet.
new camera guy. I had not met him before.
And
there's Nick. He works for NASA. He used to live out here. Well, no, he didn't. He's always been in Alabama, but he comes up a lot. I used to see him a lot more often. Since I left Facebook, he's one of those people I lost track of. Yeah. So that's social media. It's a mixed bag. You keep your sanity, but you lose some of your contacts. It's sad.
Right.
This was that one couple that they should come up every year. Last year they had made us a rubber ducky Svengoolie, and this year they brought this full of the squad rubber duckies. That was pretty cool. And they're the ones that also brought them a case of pickles.
Oh, nice.
They were interviewed. So I don't know if they, have some kind of connection to the pickles company or anything like that. But I'm curious to see if that interview, if it shows up on the show. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm slow to realize these are 2 separate things here. So the top photo.
Well, it's the same thing, but I'm showing you 2 different views.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's happening here is this picture was taken behind the curtain where Svengoolie would sign, because at one point during the weekend I was guarding all the stuff while they ran off doing what they had to do with the photo ops and stuff. So out of sheer boredom, while I'm eating lunch, I'm turning these things around and just taking pictures of them. So. But this is the same thing. It's just that, you can see Nostalgia Ferratu Ducky on one side, and the other side you can see the Gwen Goolie one.
Man,
gotta look
really
close.
Cool.
Gotta look through Yeah, they did a nice job.
Mm-hmm.
There's the pickles, which Jim tells me is awesome.
Yeah, let me pull the pickles up. And I'm saying, if people want to see where you can control the size of the image on the screen, do go directly to terrordaves.com besides our recap right here.
And if you act right now, folks, you'll get 2 C2E2 blogs for the price of 1. That's right, folks. 2 C2E2 Svengoolie blogs for the price of 1. But yeah, if we go up to the pickles, I actually looked. They sell them at Target, so I need to go find them. So I have to go look for those pickles. But you can see in the picture below the pickles, that's the couple that brought them. So I'm hoping that there'll be that what I'm seeing here is an interview that's happening, and that it will, or maybe it's not an interview. Maybe it's just them saying hello, Sven. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's, of course,
who is that man with the red hat? Yep. That's what you're missing, folks, right there. Okay. Going, gone. Keep scrolling up. There we go. All right. And there we have part 1 of my, scroll down just a little bit. So right there, the first of several Svengoolie golf cart photos. These are the trading cards we need to add to his set, is Svengoolie on a golf cart.
Mm-hmm.
To and from. Yeah.
They need it decorated to be more Sven-like.
I agree. I totally agree with you on that.
As Nanette and I were saying last time, like in the way of a hood ornament, like how do I figure how to get a magnet attached to one of the, don't let me skip out on Kerwin, but my main guy, I'm a Tombstone guy. So I think Tombstone as a hood ornament would be great. And then again, I will continue to hope that Figures Toy Company, maker of the 8-inch Svengoolie figure, will expand their line now and have an Imp, have a Gwen, have a Nostalgia Ferratu, and what better way for them to get around but for a Sven-mobile or golf cart? It's all coming together.
Like a wacky races kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes. And I agree with you about Tombstone. Where's the respect for us Generation X?
Yes.
Fans, we want our Tombstone.
Yes.
Oh, and we also want our C2E2 pigeon, as you can see right there.
Yeah.
That's a plush pigeon.
And yeah, here's Gilchrist. We're saying the Muppets.
Yeah, that's Guy Gilchrist. That's the Muppet guy. And I guess he actually does write country music songs because that's the first thing I think of when I see him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wow.
Man, I can't believe, is nobody out there commenting? Are there no comments? Where is Shy Star G with his "Let's Go"?
Yeah.
I'm really
Where's Mandarin?
disappointed, Shy
Where's
Star.
Mandy?
Well,
I guess I'm basically like Clicks poison for you.
Oh, stop.
For your channel.
I will say this in all sincerity because I reviewed our first conversations, and again, in my not understanding the technology here, then I had you provided a wealth of photos and a wealth of information as you're doing now. I didn't know from anything, so I had to just arbitrarily split in half to allow for the upload. There was a certain purity to just the conversation in the flow without the input. Now, I guess I'm saying one way is just as cool as the other way. It's fun to have spontaneous comments come in during a live stream, but to have an uninterrupted just state of the material and state of the purity of the conversation, I was also like, hey, this is still pretty cool in its own right.
Chris, that is that is absolutely the most kindest expression of "you're not a popular guest" I have ever
stop.
No, seriously though, I appreciated your patience with me too, because I had never been on a podcast before, so that was a new experience for both of us. But maybe in the future, especially if I can just be a black box, I'll show up more. We can have a whole B-Fest conversation coming.
I'm good with that. And now let me say to be consistent with Rich and his humility, right? The guy with so many fans maintains a humility for himself. So it's an exercise in keeping us all humble. Now, Dave, you definitely drew big numbers, but the single
into
biggest
the
draw.
What's that?
The single biggest draw for this channel is Michaela, so we have to give credit to
Michaela. She's got that girl and her drawings are the highlight of Reddit. So you're talking about Svengoolie, right?
Yes.
Svengoolie. Thumbs up to you and your hard work and your drawings. I think you do an amazing job. So she should get all the hits.
And when I got that postcard signed by the squad and I said, this is for Michaela, they all knew exactly who she was. And they're like, oh, yeah. So that was
awesome.
good.
Yeah, that's good. And of course, your work I'm in awe of Nanette's work. Oh, my Lord. Your stuff is amazing.
Oh, thank you. You should see the sketches beforehand.
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. God, that's old.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
As long as we're recognizing ratings draws who aren't present with us right here tonight, Chris Hamby also. Chris, we were texting earlier today. It is consistently great to see your very detailed breakdowns on the movie of the day or the movie of the week. And just on a quick but noteworthy mention, Chris has written in the blog. Sometimes when the blog doesn't appear, it's because Chris is spending time with his dad, who is looking for a better health or looking to respond to his medical issues. So, Chris, we continue to have a good thought for your dad, and we continue to appreciate your fine blog work when you're able to come around to it.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Chris, for all that you do.
Yes, Chris. Thank you.
All right. I guess let me flip back to navigation, scrolling over here. I think we've almost got Friday closed out. And again, this is, we could go more, but I do want to still encourage people, go to Tara and Dave's blog so you can get even more details on Kermit the Frog and on the golf cart and all the goodness here. Let me see if so many pictures. Again, to be continued. So now let me come out and flip over to Saturday.
The pictures are why it takes me practically 2 weeks to get these vlogs done, because I've got that old-fashioned Canon camera and I'm uploading and all that stuff. But
But you do a good job. Real
I
great job.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the train dropped you off, and that was just more the teaser there. So right, this is a comic convention, so fitting that, and this is
Have
so
a comic book. Comic book we all had back then and wish we still had, right, Chris? The Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Remember
And just
I remember
when
that.
when the Marvel Comics banner ran across the top of the screen there, it just that gave such that say the picture's worth 1,000 words, so that each of your pictures conveys so much.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, now you was that a person in a Vader suit, or was that more of a Vader?
No, that was like some little robotic Vader that would move. It did move. It was almost like a Halloween decoration kind of thing.
Cool.
The Jawas are real. There's real people in there.
All right.
I would say they in the way that Lon Chaney Sr. had to convey his acting. The Jawas definitely captured the Jawa attitude right there, just in their body positioning and posture.
Yeah. And there's the line from my view. I think we can see Nanette in that line, right? Is Nanette in that line?
With the 79?
I'm wearing I'm the one in the jersey.
Mike's leading the show. And who do we have in front of Nanette but Warner Todd?
Yeah.
Who I just had found out from you, Nanette, was moving. He did talk to me about that.
Mm-hmm.
So hope he's settled in nice in his new Tennessee home.
Mm-hmm. I saw pictures. It looked nice.
Yeah, he did. He should show me some too. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, begs the question: will there be the return of Warner? Right? It says right there, exit.
I brought that up to him too because I'm like, you can. First of all, it's not that far away. I've driven to Chattanooga. I mean, you can come up. With Svengoolie's appearances, not quite as often as it used to be. You could drive up and make a trip back up to Chicago here and there.
Still has family here, so.
Yeah. Maybe not now with the gas prices, but perhaps hopefully in a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see Warner again. There'll be a return of Warner, I'm sure of it.
Yep.
And then Dave, remind us, because my geography and my memory, I'm at a bad intersection right now, geography and memory. So Warner is relocating. Does that put Warner closer to the territory of Dr. Gangrene?
Yeah, it would be. Did he? Because didn't Warner say he's going to He's not in Nashville, right? He's in Chattanooga. Is that correct, Nanette?
I'll say yes, but
I know that Nashville is Dr. Gangrene territory.
Right. And either soon released, or I think it only says Kindle at this time, not a physical book, but Larry Underwood, the real name of Dr. Gangrene, has a new publication coming out, Master of Ceremonies. Let me read it this way: the history of TV horror hosts in Nashville, Tennessee. No doubt a fine companion piece to the other book that featured Sven and the other horror hosts. But
I agree. First of all, I actually had dinner with him out when I was in Nashville, and he is a wealth of movie information. I mean, at the time when I met him, he was talking about how he was doing a deep dive of Vincent Price and watching every single Vincent Price movie that was available from his earliest to latest. But I love it when horror hosts, or when they spotlight horror hosts from a specific region. I don't know if you can find it, but there's a really good documentary about the horror hosts in the Virginia area called Virginia Creepers. That's a good documentary. There's a great book I did a forward to called about the Southern California horror hosts. That's really good too. So you can get a lot of there's a lot of these regional stuff and Penny Dreadful. Have you ever heard of the horror host Penny Dreadful?
Yes.
She's in the Massachusetts area, and I've actually been to her place too. She did a whole show dedicated to unknown New England horror hosts. So she's had some really cool material. In fact, there was this one horror host named, I think his name was Sinister Simon, and she has the only footage of that horror host. She actually went to his.
Wow.
He's deceased, but his wife had had a bunch of videotapes in the garage that she gave to Penny Dreadful to be able to show, and that's like the only footage of that horror host that's out there. So there are some real pocket gems out there from different pockets of the United States, I should say, where you can learn about different hosts. I think even Paul Bearer might have a documentary out there. But there's a few good ones. Svengoolie needs a documentary, and I've said this to him many times.
Yes.
When I first started, when I rediscovered him on TV, which was 2003, you didn't have Facebook, really hadn't come into it yet, but there was these things called, I don't know if you guys remember, Yahoo groups. Do you guys remember those? So I was in the Svengoolie Yahoo group. As soon as I rediscovered him, I jumped on. And at the time, there was this guy talking about making a documentary on him. And I talked to Rich about it a couple of years ago. I'm like, whatever happened to that guy? Because Rich was on there. He was on the forum. But I don't know. I would have liked to. I thought that Uncrypted was going to be that type of a documentary. So I was sorely disappointed because I don't think I understood what the project was. You know?
It would be nice to have a legit documentary on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish there would be something that somebody would work on with that. He also needs a book, and I've talked to him about that too. Because I'm like, you need to write a book. Because I read Elvira's book last year, and it was amazing. And Rich is a wealth of information when it comes to Chicago entertainment. He used to do a daily blog when he was just Chicago, and he would talk about like his encounter with like David Letterman, Oprah, all these like celebrities and his thoughts on things. He's an interesting person, and I'm like, please write a book. And he's always like, oh, I don't have time for all that. And I'm like, okay, but then somebody else is going to write your book, and you may not like it, you know? So I really wish he would write a book. I would love to see a Svengoolie autobiography, and I'd love to see a Svengoolie documentary. So Sven, if you're out there watching, that's all I want for Christmas, okay? And I know Svengoolie watched the first interview we did, just so you know, because he had brought it up to me. Yeah, he brought up one of the things I said in there.
Oh, I haven't forgotten, and again, I appreciate that you came on. I appreciate that you introduced me to Nanette and so many other people for these conversations, inclusive of Sam Gambino, inclusive of, it's a long list of names. But it was not lost on me that you mentioned that Rich Coates himself had watched. Not lost on me that when you had your picked up the Svengoolie mask, that you gave me kind of the backstage pass to be the guardian of the mask, and that was just, that was look.
Oh yeah, that's right, with Joe Bob Briggs, right?
Yeah, that was the Joe.
Right,
that was,
yeah. Well, I needed you to guard my mask. Somebody had tried to steal that mask from me like the night before. So.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, I had bought the Svengoolie mask. They had the prototype. It was before it got released by Trick or Treat Studios. And I bought one, and then I had it under my chair during his thing with Joe Bob. And then somebody was pulling it out and getting ready to walk off with it. And I go, excuse me? And he's like, oh, I thought that was mine. Yeah, okay. It's the only mask being sold here. There's 2 masks. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, you sort of you did a very good public service by standing there and watching that mask.
I was happy to get the call for that, and I was happy to execute it, and for the benefit of just seeing the conversations that occurred between Rich and Joe Bob. I think they have yet to hit that collaboration that they spoke of, and again, it's a different tone from MeTV to where Joe Bob operates out of.
Well, Sven was on the Joe Bob show.
Oh,
so he did end up showing up there, and they actually have become very good friends. So here's some little known information. They became very good friends. They had kind of met at that flashback weekend. They talked a little bit, and then Joe Bob invited Rich to come out for a weekend when he was doing a drive-in promotional thing in Las Vegas. So Rich flew out there, and Joe Bob took him all around Las Vegas because he had never been there before. And then he said because what they did is they were doing a drive-in where they were showing a whole bunch of films, and he told and Rich was going to go up there as Svengoolie and introduce these films. And he told Rich, he's like, look, you just, if you get tired, you just do the one movie and you can go. Because I think they showed like 5 movies. And I think Rich ended up staying like all of them except the last movie.
Man.
And
Wow.
but they hit it off really well, to the point where Rich is like practically begging Mike from Flashback to please bring him back. So
That would be
they hit
great.
it off. Yeah, they ended up becoming legit friends, which is kind of cool.
That is neat.
Yeah. Now, what you're seeing here with the picture here, the Nosferatu's nails were a problem. He did have to take off a few of them when he was signing.
Yep.
Because that was,
I had
yeah.
how he was trying to sign with them to begin with. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's not going to work.
Right. And everything you're seeing here, these pictures, that's from right before the first signing behind the scenes. So this is when they're like nervous, kind of like planning. And here you see Jim getting ready to introduce them.
Yeah, with Warner in the foreground. And
Right. Warner unfortunately got a little disappointed because he had brought something for them to sign. This signing, mostly because they weren't sure how things were going to go. They were only allowed to sign the placard or the station card that you see Jim holding right there. That was the only thing that they were allowed to sign for this particular signing. So there were people that were kind of disappointed because they had brought stuff for them, they wanted individually signed or whatever. But this was it. And this was also the same card used at San Diego Comic-Con last year. So now we don't have to worry about going to San Diego Comic-Con, because right here in Chicago, we got the same thing. And you can tell whoever you want that you actually were at San Diego instead.
There you go.
Because that's the closest I'm ever going to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too old for that place. That's too much.
Yes.
This may be the single greatest facial expression in photography of Jim Rose.
Jim is hilarious. Jim could be a horror host for real.
Mm-hmm.
He's that fast. He's quick-witted and hilarious.
He's a trip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Complete agreement. He's and after spending so much time in lines across the locations and across the years, he always, that's one of his strengths, is to make, to provide some entertainment and some levity while you're sitting there waiting to move through the long line.
Yeah, 100%.
Here we go. More as you were saying.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what inevitably happens is people would get to Gwen Gould, like they would be going through the line, but when they got to Gwen, they just wanted to talk to her and talk to her and talk to her. And not just men, the women too. She was, she's very much got that Elvira thing where she appeals to both men and women. Like, men find her appealing in general, and women, of course, just want to be her because she's, got that sassy Elvira Valley Girl thing going. And she's not a sassy Valley Girl, but she's definitely got the charm. So this, I'm sorry, I know I'm droning on. So I made a deal with Scott.
Yeah.
So I made a deal with Scott. I'm like, okay, every time Gwen holds up the line, I'm going to turn my camera on you, and you got to come up with a new pose. So that's why you're seeing all this stuff.
This man of 1,000 poses.
Right.
And I think, there's some more. There's some more. Go ahead.
That bald guy was and I say this as also as a bald guy. So it's with affection. Remember, he came up to us in Nanette. He's a record owner of Asylum Records in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. That is cool.
Yeah, flew all the way out there for Sven. So that's pretty cool.
And I have not seen his exact T-shirt before. I just really like rubber chickens.
Yeah, and I think he'll end up on TV also. I want to say that shirt attracted the attention of the film crew.
I hope so.
Yeah.
All right. What else have we got? Again, a wealth of words and a wealth of images here. This is somebody in cosplay as a certain hockey mask wearing.
Right.
Man. So coming back to Bill, so that's what, in whatever format, be it social media, be it in a convention hall, be it in an autograph line. So Bill, as you were coming up with this magnificent visual for Nostalgia Ferratu, inclusive of the fingernails, Bill, it appears you did not consider how to navigate the signings with said fingernails. I would just want to hear.
I think this was his first Nostalgia for Ratu signing in costume. And so, yeah, those nails had to go. Mm-hmm. Or a few of them did, at least.
You're bugging for the camera. A great shot of Dave and Sarah, a.k.a. Svengoolie. Oh, look, now, okay. That's a very typical nasty face right there.
Yep. He's funny. Now, that's one thing about a taping with him. He and Rich have really good chemistry. And when I mentioned earlier about how Brianna had the social media specialist came in during a taping with them, she had gotten, there was a McDonald's Happy Meal where they had a McNugget that looked a lot like Svengoolie. So she had brought that little nugget figure for him. And they did this whole banter back and forth about chicken McNuggets that was hilarious and totally unscripted. They just came up with it right there at the top of their heads. And it was really amazing to see. I mean, we look at these guys and we're like, wow, what a bunch of crazy people wearing makeup and, looking insane. But these are professionals, and you really get a picture of that when you see them interacting with each other and doing things that are impromptu. Things I couldn't do.
They're almost kind of magical together because they do play off each other really, really well. And
absolutely.
It's a joy to see that.
I love it. And as Sven himself has said, as Rich himself has said, then it takes a lot of, because it just goes natural. It's like, okay, turn on the camera, go, here's a thing. And then it yields good material for the show. And it's also time efficient and energy efficient. They're not then scripting and planning and plotting and editing and revising. It's just natural, and it just works. And it's really to all of our benefit.
Yeah. And it was funny too, because after they tape and they say cut, they're all on the floor laughing. Like they're really enjoying themselves.
Aww.
Like legitimately, and that's awesome. Yeah, the picture you just saw with the Svengoolie interviewing the Joker there, that was actually from a C2E2 from, I think, 2018.
2018.
Oh.
And here they came back to say hello to him, and they wanted another picture with him. So this is him and Robin. I don't know if that's his son or whatever. I can't tell if the Riddler or the Penguin is the son again, but anyway, they came back and wanted another picture with Sven, and then of course they wanted one specifically with Svengoolie.
I'm trying to look at this younger 2018 Robin's ears and see if they line up with the Penguin's ears. But I'm not that good of a detective.
Yeah, I'm not either, especially when they're dressed as different characters. I can't tell. But look at Svengoolie. Now, does she not fit with the DC? Couldn't she not be like the new Catwoman?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Not just as a placeholder, but as a stuck the landing, nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, here's a little Charlie Cox Daredevil.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have taken that picture, but couldn't resist.
Well,
and actually,
moving
I have
on.
Another one with Luke Cage.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I'll just leave it with that. And the funny part was, when we were in the green room, I did see Luke Cage talking to a couple of cast members from Arrow that were back there. The green room is the place to be, man. You can sit back there and just see everything. The problem is you're not allowed to take pictures. Remember, I told you that story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Yeah. And that was the story that Svengoolie had commented on afterwards with me, even just recently. Because I remember I had taken a picture. I don't know if you know this story, Nanette, but I had taken a picture in the green room the first time I was there and caused a bit of a ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever was the handler of the Walking Dead person that I took a picture of, she came running over. And Svengoolie later told me she reminded him of Dracula's daughter. And then and then I think it was a year, it was last year. He's like, I had to leave early, and he's like, Dave, you're not going to believe this. Dracula's daughter struck again. It was really funny. And then I was like, oh, you watched that podcast, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Funny.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, as I just rewatched that this morning, I was like, wow, that was really cool to behind the scenes, not previously written about.
I never told anybody that. I didn't even write that in my blog. That's how embarrassed I was by that whole thing.
Aw.
But the reason I bring it up now though is because it just shows you what a good person, like what a nice, genuinely nice person, he was. Any other celebrity would have been like, infuriated, by my amateurishness.
Oh.
But he was very kind. Look, more gratuitous golf cart shots for you.
I might be, after we finish here, I might be on Amazon looking for a golf cart. No, I don't know.
Oh, like a little golf cart to put your like little action figures in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You got the tiki bar. Why not? The little golf cart.
Wow.
Absolutely. And the pictures here we have thanks to Nanette, because there's one picture here that I took and you'll see why I went to Nanette. But I can get good pictures from a distance sometimes, but the lighting was really kind of poor for that. So thank you again for that, Nanette. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I tried to take as many as I could.
Look at this.
And this one, this is the thumbnail here. You really nailed it for this one.
Oh, thanks. I wish Bill's, I think it's because he's probably right-handed. His candelabra was in the way, and I was like, oh man, I can't get a good individual picture of Bill, but
and that one
in the panel, yeah.
And you're saying, right, so for the actual purity again of the photo, and here this one kind of shows the candelabra in his face, but my interpretation was that was Bill in character clowning around like, oh, you see me, you can't see me, there's these candles in my face.
Yeah. This thing too, I don't know if you guys noticed, it ended 15 minutes earlier than it was supposed to. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah. Why did?
And I don't know, because all I know is Jim came up to me and goes, for some reason he ended it 15 minutes early. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, none of us were complaining as we were so tired at that point. So it's like, okay, well, let's go down. So they went down to the green room, and that extra 15 minutes is what gave me a chance to go down and get that Godzilla Chicago Dog T-shirt from Hairbrain that you had shown me, Nanette. Yep, that's the one. I bought that for my son. I love that shirt. I should have got one for me too. I should have bought one for me when I go to G-Fest, but my son will have his on. And I'm assuming you might. Right? Are you going to G-Fest, Chris?
Undecided yet. Again, to be determined. But I know it is a trek for you to make it up to the north side. But the Hairbrain people, besides having their online and besides the Godzilla versus Chicago art show now that they do once a year, it is a date in mid-December that they open up what they call their warehouse or their studio, where customers or hairbrained connoisseurs, hairbrained enthusiasts can come in and actually shop right before Christmas. So I'll make sure that those dates get in front of you. If it works out, so be it.
Yeah, let me know. I got a new set of wheels now, so I can get up there.
Which is excellent.
I like that, the one that I was like Fred Flintstone, practically using my feet to get it to move.
Ooh.
This one, this new one is. So now's the time. So yeah, I'll have to definitely go up there. Thanks.
And there's the shirt. And then Dave. I meant to pull.
That was my big purchase for me. I love the Bounty Hunters and Empire Strikes Back, even though they got 3 seconds of screen time. So I thought 8 magnets for $20 was pretty good. So now it's in my kitchen, even though it goes with absolutely nothing in my kitchen. Actually, it's so funny. I actually hung a framed picture of the original Star Wars poster in my dinette area so that it wouldn't make these guys stick out so bad. I went to full nerd in my kitchen.
Now there's only so many, I think as a 2D designs might be the name of it, but also as I've mentioned, Dave's generosity. So Dave tipped me off to, which is on tomorrow. And so I picked up the same guy, the same vendor, the same designer magnets of the Universal monsters.
Oh, did you?
And this is one of the shops, one of the tables set up sure I did, at the Kane County Toy Show, which will be on tomorrow. And again, thanks to Dave, I've been well able to entertain.
Tomorrow? Really?
Tomorrow, for real.
Oh, no. I went one year and I bought a 12-inch Darth Vader, the original one from back in the day, 12-inch Vader with the cape and stuff. And I bought that because I have like the 12-inch figures of these bounty hunters that you see. I actually have 12-inch dolls of them standing in my room, and I put a Darth Vader in front of them that I bought there. So
Nice.
yeah, total Star Wars nerd. I get it, you know.
It is good to be a part of all the converging fandoms, or as Robert Meyer Burnett calls it, post-peak singularity. But another golf cart shot. This guy, again, there's a great variety of rubber chickens out there. Some more magnificent photos of the whole gang together. And here, group shot courtesy of Jim. Man, that was good stuff.
That's a nice photo.
Well, and we're hitting the 1 hour mark, and traditionally we like to. Well, we're not live, so I guess
does it show you how many people even watch this? Did anybody watch this at all live, or like, man?
we'll know soon enough.
I did send the link to my brother, so maybe he's watching, or maybe he's who knows what he's doing.
Sorry, Chris, we couldn't bring you some views.
I'm just saying,
you know, maybe next time let's just FaceTime next time. You know,
as I had done before with Jim Campbell. I'll upload this again. I might need to break it into 2 episodes as we traditionally did the first time around. But again, super appreciation. This was a configuration, as I said earlier, a configuration we had not run before to have the 3 of us. Now, the 3 of us has been in the same room and spoken live, but this is the first time the 3 of us have come together on the screen. So I again appreciate the being in the same community and all that both of you do for the community in general, and for palling around at the shows, and for Nanette contributing so much to Reddit. But as we're wrapping up, hey, we're looking forward to Flashback, looking forward to the appearances and announcements. People should be checking out Svengoolie.com, people checking out TerrorDave.com, as we mentioned many a time. And if you want to see that Nanette artwork and other banter, then the Svengoolie Reddit group, we're there to have a good time over there as well.
Yes. Thank you. We appreciate you, Mr. C.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to hit end recording, and then I'll figure out the upload download business. And that's all for now.
As soon as you click off, my camera's going to start working.